In this video, I'm going to demonstrate importing customers and transactions into Sage using PostTrans XL Importer. Firstly, we're going to open a predefined template, and all these examples come with PostTrans, so you can try them out yourself. It's going to open a template, and we're going to import some customers from a file, and then we're going to import some new sales orders from file which relate to those customers. And then I'll go through and explain how to set this up and a few other options. Of course, post-trans, we could use this importing for nominal journals, stock adjustments, invoice sales quotes, purchase orders, and many other types of transactions. So for nominal journals, for instance, you could bring in your credit card information and with some VLOOKUPs and etc. import a journal representing your credit card transactions. Anyway, post-trans can also be used for helping with managing bill of materials, stock lists, price lists, and much more. Feature-rich, PostTrans also has in-cell searching and validation. It can also copy down the formulas as it's importing, so you could add formulas to the sheet to manipulate the data as it comes in, such as posting a nominal journal. You could bring in the credit card information and manipulate it to define the GLs, or you could manually add data to it. And again, as I say, it's validated, so it'll highlight any problems just before it posts it in. I'm going to just demonstrate it here with Sage Line 50, but exactly the same functionality is available for Sage 200. So let's see the software in action. I've already loaded PostTrans for Sage, so I've got a PostTrans for Sage toolbar here. I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to press the Help button, which allows me to access all the templates that come with Sage. And you can see here we have an example called Import File, Customer, and Multiple Orders. I'll just double click on that and that'll open that template. You can see here we have a link to a blog article which explains in depth the functionality of this example and how to set up file import. So firstly, we need to import our customers which relate to the orders we're going to bring in. So I'm just going to switch to the customer tab and I'm going to press the file button which has appeared and select this CSV file, new customers. Now, PostTrans has already been set up to suck in a CSV file and a filter on the new customers, but I'll show that all a bit later. So let's pull those 3 lines in. So now I'm just going to press the import button, which will take them into Sage, and there it just told me about the defaults it's going to use, and there we have created 3 accounts. So now I'm ready to bring in my orders. I'm going to press the file again, having switched to the order tab. And now the first example here brings in CSV file. So I'm going to double click on there and you can see now it's read in a CSV file, and the blog article shows a screenshot of this file, which if I click on it looks something like this. So there you can see we've got the account, the date, reference, stock code, etc. So that was read in by PostTrans into Excel. So now it's just a simple case of pressing the import button, and you can see here PostTrans has scanned down. It numbers the lines as it's processing them, so you can see it's read four lines there, and that's because the account code, you can see here on the 5th line, it's actually changed. So here we have a series of orders for the first account, the second account, and the third account. Now it's brought up here a confirmation window which explains or shows you the VAT content and all the figures that are going to be posted, including the margin. So I'm going to post that first transaction. See now it's written the reference against those lines because it's processed those. And again, confirmation for the second one. Now, if I went into setup, I can turn off this confirmation. If I've got the pro version of PostTrans, I can actually turn on an option which will allow me to email or print these transactions as they're going into the system. And now it's got down to the 3rd set of accounts, but you can see now it's processed the only 2 lines for this account. I'm just going to process that, and again another 2 lines, and I'll explain why. And the reason is because the transaction date's changed. So PostTrans, on a change of an account or a transaction date or a customer reference, forces another transaction to be created because the fields have changed, the field values. There's also a tag that you can actually put in and force, putting a Y in, a new transaction if you wish. But anyway, that's brought in that text file. And if we had the right options, it would have used this is the full file name here, it would have actually moved that to a different folder, so the user would not have actually processed it a second time. We also, on the 2nd and 3rd tab in here, order fixed, have another example, which actually brings in a fixed length file. So I just pop that exactly the same data, exactly the same principle. So I shan't go into that to too much detail. But let's go into the setup. If I just click up setup, you can see here we have a import file tab. And basically here you just say, okay, I want the data to go in column B, and I want to turn on the file button, else I won't be able to access import files. Now I can run a batch file before it actually imports the first file, and I can say run only one time. Now that enables me to write a batch file to possibly trigger off a FTP download, so I could download some text files from an external source or server. So that's easily achieved using that option there. So the from directory allows me to set the directory that it's actually going to take the data from, and by default it will default to the PostTrans installation directory. Now I can actually set a filter, so I can set certain types or patterns to offer the certain files that match that pattern, and I can move the directory having imported, move the file having imported it to this directory set on the field here. I can skip the first line. Of course, this is comma delimited, so it says comma delimited here, and there's no text qualifier. You can have the quotes and all the rest of it. Now, if I filled in here a fixed length specification, then it would take a fixed length file format. So if I switch to the order and the fixed format and press setup and go in there, you see there the specification of the fields for the fixed length file format. So I hope you can see there that you could set up a pretty easy method of importing files for your users so they can import it, and it also moves them away once imported so they can't re-import them a second time. It's also worth pointing out, and there's a blog about copying and formulas down, but you can set formulas so the PostTrans would actually copy down the formula, and of course you can put a tag on there. So if you had no nominal journal, say if you had a nominal journal coming in from a credit card, you can actually use a VLOOKUP to set the nominal journal, or any other things, cost centers and departments and so on. So it's very, very flexible system in summary. If you're watching this video from YouTube, to go to our website, simply click on the link in the description below. If you're already on our website, you can scroll down slightly, and below this video you'll probably see some related links to associated articles. Let's just show you some of the resources on the website. Switch over, here's the home page. You can see here we have a series of menus at the top, and if you allow them to expand, you can see there all the different types of importation or extraction you can use with PostTrans and Sage, and also the transactions you can post. But importantly, there's a training section here. If we go to the training section, that describes in detail how to alter a PostTrans template using the tags that we briefly discussed in the demonstration. Also on the website is a blog which you can subscribe to, and I thoroughly recommend that, so then you can learn of new functionality and uses of PostTrans, because each of these articles maybe hones in on a particular function, a particular tag, or a particular way of using the product to do a particular job. For instance, expanding bill of materials on an order, code searching, protecting templates, importing CSV files, pricing, managing VAT, order currency, you name it, it's all in there. And that is easily accessible from the software itself. So if I switch back to a template, and this one's an order template, and I've just got the tag window open here on the right, but you'll see as I scroll down, this one here, TL description, which is the actual product description, actually has a blog article. So clicking on there takes me to that blog article and explains in great detail the implications of using that tag and the many different options, maybe in system setups, alters and behavior of that tag. So hopefully that will help. Also, we have the help button itself on the button bar, which takes you to kind of a context sensitive help, and also takes you to the training page, which explains how to manipulate and alter that template. And in addition to all that, of course, we have these blue help buttons here, which are easily accessible. They're also in the setup windows within PostTrans. So again, that takes you to a blog article. For instance, this one's about making the cursor follow a certain path. That will then take you to that article and explain how you customize that individual functionality. So there, I hope you've seen many different functions and online resources that we provided you to enable you to customize PostTrans to create a template to help you or your customers. So I thank you very much for watching this video.